Hello, dear students. This is Amina Vanigina, and today we are going to talk about odontogenic tumors. And first, let us start with the introduction. And the introduction says the most common neoplasm of the jaws is odontogenic, and it is unique to the jaws. Classification: benign epithelial odontogenic, ameloblastoma, adenomatoid, squamous odontogenic T, and calcific odontogenic T. Benign mixed odontogenic, benign mesenchymal odontogenic, hamartomas, odontomas, compound odontomas, and complex also could be seen. Malignant epithelial tumor and malignant mesenchymal tumor. And we are going to talk about sarcoma and carcinomas. Ameloblastoma is a benign, locally aggressive odontogenic tumor, arises from odontogenic epithelium. This is animal organ. The cause is unknown. The clinical feature is that it is the most common one, and it is mostly common in the people of the age 30 to 40 years. And they have to be, they are mostly male representatives of us. And it is really rare in children, in 80% in mandible and 70% in posterior regions. Usually asymptomatic, slow grow expansion of the jaw, cortical bone produce shell bone, like in the picture. So this is the figure, and here you can clearly see the physical change in case of ameloblastoma. Relative distribution of ameloblastomas in the jaws and the percentages, actually, the distribution. So it is also axial cracking, pain, paresthesia, mobility of regional teeth, pathological fracture, the overlying mucosa normal, maxillary lesion may produce pressure effects and nasal obstruction. Radiography. You can see ameloblastoma in radiography, uni or multilocular radiolucent areas, soap bubbles, they are called. In radiography, soap bubbles appearance could be seen here and here. Histopathology. Usually there are many histological variants of ameloblastoma, follicular ameloblastoma, islands or trabecula of epithelial cells in a connective tissue stroma, like this. Ameloblast-like cells which have reversed polarity. This pattern of growth resembling the early stages of tooth development, core of loosely arranged polyhedral or angular cells resembling satellite reticule. Variants of ameloblastoma: plexiform ameloblastoma, or arranged in a network of anastomosing strands, plexiform and asymptotic. Variants of ameloblastoma, basal cells ameloblastoma, trabecular pattern of growth with little evidence of palisading at the periphery. They have been mistakes with basal cell carcinoma. And here you can see actually the plexiform unicystic ameloblastoma. Mostly is common in children between 10 to 19 years, typically in the mandible. And ameloblastoma is locally aggressive tumor and may extend to the bone or surrounding soft tissues even. The tumor, adenomatoid tumor, let's start talking about it. It's uncommon benign tumor originated from reduced animal epithelium of post-secretory phase of animal development. 37% of all odontogenic tumors are like this. How about the clinical features of adenomatoid tumor associated with an impacted, asymptomatic late adolescence or young adulthood, female? And in 65% in the maxilla. Cause an elevation of the upper lip, pain and tooth replacement, rarely extra osseous, gingival mainly. So in the pictures, you can actually see demonstration of adenomatoid tumor. But in radiography, right, typically appear as pericoronal radiolucences, which may have radiopaque material like snowflake classification within the lucency. This is the relative distribution of adenomatoid odontogenic tumor in the jaws. So you can actually see the differences. Adenomatoid tumor, in the point of view of histopathology, sheets or islands of epithelial cells arranged around microcyst, ducts or ductals, like here, surrounded by thin vascularized stroma. The ductals bordered by ameloblast-like cells, the lumen filled by homogeneous material. It's so small faulty of calcification. Okay, here you can actually see the epithelial odontogenic tumor calcifying. A benign, locally aggressive tumor originated from the rest of the dental lamina and or RASMIY. Bindborg tumor is another name for it, and it is very rare tumor that is met in less than 1% situations. Could be mistaken with poorly differentiated squamous cell carcinoma. So here you can actually see the other types of tumors that are odontogenic. And their clinical features, histopathology, and the treatment even. For example, for squamous odontogenic tumors, treatment is conservative local excision of cartilage appears to be effective treatment, as there have only been a few recurrences reported. Ameloblastic fibroma is another rare biphasic tumor because the epithelial and mesenchymal components are part of the neoplastic process, resembles dental papillae. The clinical features could be seen in young adult and children, and you can actually see them in display. In radiography, you can see these lesions appear as either unilocular or multilocular radiolucency. Approximately 50% are associated with an unerupted tooth. So, another thing that I would like to give information on is probably odontogenic myxoma. In radiography, typically appears as multilocular radiolucent area with well-defined scalloped margin or soap bubble. So soap bubble is dominant. So cementoblastoma is also a typical disease, a tumor that could be seen. It is benign neoplasm of the cementoblastic origin, composed of cementum-like tissue growing in continuity with apical cemental layer. So here we shall actually finish, and you can see and learn are the tumors that are common and rare in people in the given slide. And if you got any questions, let the lecturer know about them, and let them answer your questions. Goodbye.